Alrighty, folks, welcome to the third episode of MFIT TV. Myself, Nick Harrell, Ben Kane from Price Plow, and my good old co-host, seven-time IFBB champion, Guy's sister, Nino. He might have a nickname, Quadra. So today we're going to go through my favorite category, the pre-workout category. And I mean, you two can attest to this. Over the past couple of years, not even now, but I would say the past decade, we've seen pre-workout just go from caffeine to a multitude of categories, whether it's non-stim, moderate, high stim, zero stim, performance pre-workouts, power pre-workout, whatever you want to call them. And at MFIT we've tried to do and cater to all three audiences, from performance to your stim junkie, used lightly, and our non-stim audience as well. Guy's sister Nino, I know he is a very big non-stim fan. So what I'll do is I'm going to coast through three of these pre-workouts in order of in which we've launched them. So the first one we did was last year. We launched with Havoc and Trigger, but let's start off with Havoc because this is the fan favorite. Sour watermelon, lemon lime. Going to read off the SFB really quick for those who don't know the full panel. We have our thiamine, our B6, B12, magnesium, potassium, 8 grams citrulline malate, 2-to-1 ratio, carnosine beta-alanine, 3.5, creatine monohydrate, 2.5 grams, beetroot powder, AG mass, all at 1 gram, watermelon fruit extract, 1 gram, alpha size at 250, caffeine at 200, and L-theanine. Now, my experience using this, obviously, this one's my baby, sour watermelon. It's my favorite flavor. My favorite aspect of this is that, one, the caffeine level mixed with the 250 of alpha size and the 3.5 of beta-alanine, just for me, and like how we talk about all the time, Ben, there's no best anything. So everything's, upon your usage. That I get my ass kicked when I use. That's just me.
It's stronger than it looks. When you use what?
Havoc. When that specific dose of those specific ingredients in my body formed this fucking ball of chaos in me. I'm sorry that pre-workout alone. I always get my best workouts with Havoc. That's just me. Lately, I've been doing more Trigger, but we'll dive into Trigger more later on. But I want to know your guys' experiences on Havoc and what you've used them, how you liked it, and so on and so forth.
Well, I'm older than both of you, so I've been around the game
clearly
a lot longer, and I've taken a lot of pre-workouts over time. And I've said this in interviews, and if people know me and follow me, they'll attest to this. I don't think I've ever promoted and took a pre-workout so much in my life, because back in the day, a lot of these companies that I was sponsored by either didn't have non-stim pre-workouts, or they were so highly concentrated in caffeine that I never took them. So my promotion of the product would just be a picture of the bottle. If people watch my videos now, they actually see me taking Havoc. And the reason is because I had nothing to do with the formulation of the product, but the fact that it only has 200 mg of caffeine, which is about equivalent to a large coffee. Now, before when I was with MFIT in the beginning, when I first signed, we didn't have a stim-free. So I was kind of reluctant to try something with caffeine in it. But I have to say, out of my entire bodybuilding career since I started competing at 21, there's not a pre-workout that is even remotely even close to second for how much I've taken Havoc. Mm-hmm. And now with Havoc and Hazard, we'll get into that later, but it's like that to me speaks for itself, the amount that I actually take the product on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of like full, well-rounded pre-workouts. Like back in the day, it was just straight caffeine. Like, and caffeine is
It was either nothing and no caffeine, no stim, or concentrated through the roof. There was never in-between middle ground.
Right. And we went from a lot of just like energy to actual ergogenic aids. Like Havoc will increase your performance, and it's not just energy. Like there are stuff in there to make more strength, make more power outputs, make you more hydrated. The watermelon powder in there. You guys were the first people I saw that used watermelon, and I think it makes the citrulline way stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so, Nick also, if you think about it, like I don't know about you guys, but I have really bad cramping problems. and the use of a lot of the hydration stuff that we have in our products, from Havoc all the way down to Recoup to Menace to Havoc to everything that we have has some form of hydration in it, and which for me I need because I was taking it's Hydromax for a while, Nick, that I got because I was cramping so bad.
I think you were using Chris's HydroCharge.
HydroCharge. That's I don't even think it's Hydromax.
I like that.
It's a phenomenal product. But now that we incorporated all these, the watermelon and the coconut powder, like my cramping is substantially less.
Mm.
You know, say hi to the dogs.
Is that Tank? That sounds like Tank.
That's I don't even know. Barking at the cleaners because they just left.
I used to be a really high stim guy. I used to be a really big fan of caffeine. I think there's a lot of data for caffeine, but I think Havoc does a good job of making, like, anyone can take Havoc. Like, it's not going to freak anybody out. Not that high, but it's strong.
Yeah.
And like I said before, it's not even like you said, I used to be a caffeine junkie myself. I still maybe am, but when it comes to at least my pre-workout supplementation, I've completely done 360 or 180 for that matter.
Yeah.
But with Havoc, it's more of your, like, we had a conversation when you came to the office the other day. It's just those specific ingredients at those dosages. Something about it just makes it tick and just works so well.
Well, yeah, and so Nick, you formulate it, but it's two sides of the thing. It's good formulator and great ingredients, and that's all the fact that where we get our ingredients from and who the company's backed by. That's why our ingredients work so well. A, because where they come from. B, because they're real. C, because it's formulated in-house with chemists and scientists. And I mean, that's why this stuff's so real. And I think you're going to start seeing a trend where after all this shit that has happened in the industry with so many companies fucking the end consumer and just blatantly lying to them, I think you're going to see full circle people starting to pay a lot more, especially after all this shit that happened now with people getting sick. I think you're going to see a turnaround of people being a lot more healthy and doing a lot more research, not just in food, but just in anything that they put in their body.
Is that a Smart Energy? That was a Smart Energy.
It was Smart Energy, yeah.
God damn it. I ran.
Nick loves these things, these Smart Energy cans.
And shout out to
he loves, and
dude.
He's such a weirdo.
On to Trigger. Gonna read off the sub facts for this bad boy.
I'll let you guys talk about that one because I don't like talking about things that can
2.5 grams of betaine, 350 milligrams caffeine anhydrous, 150 he always laughs at that. 150 milligrams Elevate TP, 100 milligrams of theobromine, 50 milligrams, I can't help but grin when I read these two, N-methyltyramine, and 50 milligrams of hordenine. This will be reformulated.
Yeah.
So just so you guys know, I've talked to Chaz a couple times of what I want to put in there, but so that
Chaz as in
compound.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some really cool ideas with that.
Cool.
But I thoroughly enjoy this. I've taken this before fasted cardio. I've taken this before, especially power movements like a big back day, or a big leg day. God, don't make any jokes. But I thoroughly enjoy. I mean, it could be the caffeine, but I genuinely like this dose.
Let me ask you an honest question. Do you use it because that's not a pump formula? So no. Do you like the fact that you just get pure energy from it? So are you saying you use it on days where you have heavier lifts?
Yeah, so like big movements like deadlifts and squats, and let's say I have like a specific bench day coming up and I know I have to move some weight, and that's not a lot, let's be honest.
You're going for pure energy strength, not
I'm going pure energy strength. Just alone, the Elevate TP, the betaine, and the caffeine, just those three. You can make a pre-workout out of that.
I think it's good that you're saying that, because I think a lot of people can utilize having Trigger and Havoc, but I never really thought about it like that until you just said it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example. Like in my last prep, I squatted 700 pounds. The amount of what time it takes me to warm up to squat 700 pounds, I do not need to get a back pump during that. Like getting a pump in my lower erectors is the worst possible thing I could get. So I don't take any pump ingredients when I'm squatting or deadlifting extremely heavy.
Exactly. And the point I was going to make was it's like, and listen, if you are just a stem person and you have a lot of high volume workouts, sure, you could take it. Is it the most beneficial product of ours that you could take for a very high volumized workout? Absolutely not. This is more, you can take it, but it's more geared for strength output. To get the best way I could put it as the combination of theobromine and methyltyrrhenine and hordenine in this alone. The way I react to it, I sweat my fucking balls off. That's just me. And I just think it's perfect. Again, like Ben said, you know, how long it takes to warm up for a deadlift or a squat, PR, anything like that. Like there's no need, you know, to get a back pump.
Or if you're any type of endurance athlete, like if you're a swimmer, if you're playing baseball, you probably don't want to get a bicep pump from swinging the baseball bat, right? Like that would hinder you.
And I know Mike takes this.
Mike takes from swimming.
He takes a half a scoop of that. You know, before he starts going.
I know. I mean, we've cursed, so obviously I don't think there's a PG show.
It's fine.
But I was actually reading something the other day, and maybe you guys have seen it, but I've never even thought about it. Maybe because I'm just a PIMP in the sack. But I read that people actually take pre-workouts before they have sex. Have you guys ever heard that?
I've never heard of it.
I was reading it, and I was blown away.
I'll probably
never. Babe, hold on. I got to go take my Havoc. I'll be in the back of the sheets.
No way.
I don't get it.
We talk.
I'd be like itching my face.
Yeah. Give me like this.
She's like, why are you so red?
Don't worry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
have you ever heard of that?
If you were red after that, I probably wouldn't talk to that person anymore. But
I mean, I've heard of arginine for like semen volume.
Yeah.
I was reading somewhere that some guy. I was reading somewhere that some guy legit says, I forget which one it was, but he takes a pre-workout before he has sex. Huh?
Was it Rob?
Robert
Frank.
Oh, God only knows what he thinks.
Things you don't expect to hear during foreplay is the sound of a shaker bottle.
Babe, you got my funnel up there? Like this. Having sex with.
Oh, God. All right. And then what I want to jump into and spend a little more time on, since it's our newest pre-workout, is the behemoth that is Hazard. So I said this on another podcast I was on, but when we first came up with Hazard, it was a 4-ingredient pump product. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was nitrogen, green tea, and some electrolytes. That's all it was. And Hydromax. But going through everything, seeing the landscape of non-stim products become even more popular, I wanted us to stand out more. So I reformulated, and I stuck 150 vitamin C in there. You have your electrolytes. You have magnesium, potassium, and sodium in here. Your magnesium coming from mag-gluconate, potassium coming from your coconut water powder, and your nitrogen, believe it or not. And your sodium is coming from all pink Himalayan salt. You have your coconut water powder at 2 grams. So, like, you've seen intra-workouts with 2 grams. This is a pre-workout with 2 grams of coconut water powder. You have your Hydromax at 1,500. You have your nitrogen at 1,500. My favorite ingredient in sports nutrition, Pico 2 at 1 gram. Lion's mane, an extra 5, not the lion's mane in the Pico 2. This is an extra added 500 milligrams of lion's mane, 300 milligrams of catein green tea. So I don't compare the two. I don't compare Vaso 6 with catein. Vaso 6 has clinical studies on sports trained individuals. Catein does not, but this actually has a higher polyphenol value. And then you have 50 milligrams of S7 in here as well, along with pink Himalayan salt. So you've seen all of our other formulas. You've seen everything from a formulation standpoint that we put out on the market when it comes to patented ingredients and making sure that we're using the quality ingredients that, quite frankly, the sports nutrition category deserves. And I think this is the perfect, for me, pre-workout in terms of non-stims. I've taken this just in the middle of the day as well. Like instead of a cup of coffee, I've taken this and I've gotten the same amount of focus. And also I'm helping with my hydration. It also helps me, believe it or not, with me. I lack on the electrolyte standpoint. So that's what actually kills my digestion as well. My everything is extremely slow. So when I take this as well, it does help me move things along. But my best pump, like what if I'm arm, chest, back, legs, is with when I use Hazard. And the flavor is pretty awesome too. It kind of tastes like Smarties, the candy. So the flavoring profile is pretty sweet, and it's just a loaded formula. And we're also doing a giveaway with Natural Body, so you're gonna win.
Nice.
Yeah, two tubs of Hazard, a shirt, a
Swag,
and a hat, I believe.
I honestly felt like when you guys started, when you first came out with your products, your pitch to me was like, it's nothing crazy. It's just what you need when you need it. But when you went, Hazard and Recoup were the two products you like took the gloves off for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I almost thought it was uncharacteristic of you. Like, it's a hard hitting product. There's a lot of patent ingredients in there. Like,
yeah, with Recoup, it was more of, we have a CBD product and we want to expand on a category that hasn't been really explored yet. And trust me, I've heard the criticisms of the product, but I've also heard cases of people that genuinely enjoyed it and it's actually helped people. It helped Mike's call it his best sleep aid. I use it post-workout. I am significant.
You're talking about Recoup now, right?
Yeah, just as an add-on. But like I've seen at least I'm not saying it cures my anxiety, but I've taken it and I have felt a little edge taken off. That's just me. Again, but on that I've heard criticisms, but I've also heard the good outweighs the bad in terms of feedback what I've heard from Recoup.
yeah.
But with Hazard, so far I've heard nothing but phenomenal things in terms of the formula, the panel, the taste, the effects, everything. I think Hazard is one of those products that you get the type of focus from the lion's mane alone, and some of the Pico 2 aspects. Just the hydration too. It's just I'm in love with that formula.
Yeah. So I was never a big stim guy up until I started taking Havoc. And then when we came out with Hazard, the only actually time I can't take Hazard, honestly, is I tried taking it on a leg day. I can't move on a leg day.
Yeah.
My legs get so pumped within the first three sets of extensions that it's too much. So I honestly actually can't take it because the pump is way too intense for my quads. That's the only day I don't take it. But what I do on more occasions than not is if I really don't want a caffeine at all, but I want to cut down on the pump of Hazard, what I'll do is I'll actually do a half a scoop of Hazard and a half a scoop of Havoc. And I'll mix that. So I play around with the pre-workouts because they are interchangeable. But Hazard by itself, see, if you're lacking on a body part and you're trying to grow, the only way you could grow is to force as much muscle into that area as possible, or to force as much blood into that muscle as possible. And the best way to do that is just having a very strong vasodilation formula with no stims, because you're not putting a roadblock or a speed bump in the way of doing what you're trying to do. So I tell people, like, if you're going to take a high stim, take it, like Nick said, on your power days where okay, this day, because nobody deadlifts every day. Nobody squats every day. So you take the trigger on a as-is-needed basis. Havoc can be taken every day, but I don't think people should be taking things with energy just to work out. If you have to get that highly energized and motivated to work out, maybe you're in the wrong fucking sport. But Hazard, you can literally take Hazard every single day and not have any adverse side effects, kill your adrenal glands, and it's just great for building muscle because of the ingredient profile.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. A lot of mainstream users in this market now are like super high stim users, and I understand because like I've experimented pretty high with caffeine, and I like the effects, but I don't need it. And that's kind of what I've come back to telling a lot of people, like, I can get a great pump just timing my carbohydrates well for my workout and hydrating, and if you can't get a pump just off of a good diet, you're probably not doing what you should be doing anyway.
Yeah, and I've seen your what was it? It was when I threw the pink Himalayan salt in there, I saw one of your because there was a trend on Instagram. There were like people like putting like a tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt in their pre-workouts, and you're like, you guys need to salt your food.
Yeah.
You know.
And I try not to hate on people because salt pre-workout is good, but like if that's the only time you're getting salt, like you're still deficient in salt. Like, and I salt every single meal. I mean, I'm not a water buffalo. I'm not putting 2 grams of salt in every meal, but I'm getting my salt in. I also have my potassium and stuff like that. It's important.
Hey, Ben, did you ever hear of these guys using Tabasco sauce in a pre-workout for fat burning purposes?
I've seen your videos.
The next hazard flavored is actually burn your booty Tabasco.
Oh, yeah.
That was awful.
Dude, the best part about it was we did it as like a spoof.
Yeah, where did that come from?
For Machiavelli when we were in Dubai. Machiavelli was coming up with these crazy ideas. He's like, no, bro, put it in your shake. It'd be funny. I'm like, okay. So I did it, and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. And literally to this day, I have people tagging me, putting Tabasco sauce in their pre-workouts. Like that's what I do. And I can't tell them I lied, but it was just a joke.
Yeah.
Who would think that's okay?
And that happens a lot with all these people, though. Like, isn't Aceto's thing the muffins?
No, Aceto really does muffins.
Yeah, so like, but like you have like you do something often enough, it becomes a thing. So I can understand why people think like, oh, guys putting Tabasco sauce on all this pre-workouts.
Yeah, I mean, I there's a lot of other things I could justify putting on a pre-workout over Tabasco sauce, but that's just me.
I had like a nice slug of Tabasco sauce in my bottle, and I was using Trigger Fruit Punch.
Oh God.
I actually put a little bit of Havoc on my finger and put it in my nose and let it crust, and then while I work out, I just pick some boogers out and eat it. It's like a little smart tart candy.
That's one of the most disgusting things you do. That's disgusting. It's not.
Is that going to get edited out?
No.
So people are going to think I really picked my nose now. I'm never going to get laid again.
There's some good jewels in here.
What?
That and the shaker bottle comment. Those were 2.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But I mean, all in all, I think as a brand, we're set up pretty nicely with 3 separate different categories of pre-workouts, and they all have separate entities within themselves that really push forward the categories that they're in and really enhance your workouts, whether it be powerlifting, bodybuilding, you're a swimmer, you just want to go for a jog, or you need a little midday pick-me-up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a brand that has such well-defined pre-workout categories. I see a lot of companies that have it's annoying. Like their pre-workouts are too close together. You guys
I've been seeing companies that have been putting out fucking pre-workouts with I think upward like pushing 1,000 caffeine.
1,000 caffeine?
Like 600-700.
Oh, no, I know. Oh, yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
No, there was more than one brand I've been seeing, but I mean that's like
I know of one, and I'm me, I'm the last person to talk about other brands, but I've seen one that, and me and Ben have had the conversation of
I've double scooped that one.
Yeah, of 700 plus.
Yeah, there's a brand with 700 milligram caffeine pre-workout.
Yeah,
700.
Yeah, it's 600 anhydrous, 100.
I think about what 200 mgs of Havoc does to me. I know what Trigger's done to me. I feel like if I had 700 mgs of caffeine, I'd be in jail.
I believe that.
Or dead.
In fairness, it's labeled out by scoop.
Mm-hmm.
The 700, so it's not like
transparent.
You're taking an all-inclusive 700. You have a choice of getting there with 3 scoops, I think, right, Ben?
Yeah, but that's like saying you have the option of getting the 600 if you take 3 scoops of fucking Havoc.
Again, I'm not.
So that's always been my I don't
okay, well then I retract then my statement doesn't hold any truth then, because that
for me, as long as there's a company out there that's a proprietary blend that has over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine in it. I have
1,000?
1,000, 100%. I've seen the testing.
How do you live?
How do you live?
You know what's really scary is it's like one of the top selling pre-workouts and no one knows it. No one. So a lot of people really like high caffeine, they just don't know it.
Can you text me afterwards?
I'll send you it. But there's a fully disclosed brand that has 700 milligrams of caffeine, and I've taken it honestly It's pretty awesome, but
it's pretty awesome.
I couldn't.
Your heart didn't explode?
No, I felt like Superman. But there's also theanine in it. I think there's Pico too. Like it's a good formula. It's just.
Do you think that amount of caffeine and stims is necessary?
No. I was using that because I was just trying to push the limits. I would never take that regularly.
Yeah.
Limits in the gym or the limits of your heart?
Both, honestly.
Yeah.
It was really, yeah. That was, that's like, that was at the end of my prep. I would never use that in like an off season or like if I wasn't doing something insane. I think that, that's what MFIT is good for me is that it's what you need when you need it.
You've never done it. When you say prep, you're talking about powerlifting?
Powerlifting. No, sorry, powerlifting, yeah.
Why don't we do like a Price Plow MFIT like challenge to where like they got to go against like you and Nick or something like that?
In what?
Like
deadlifting? Are you nuts?
What?
I said in powerlifting.
No, I'm talking about like dieting.
If you think I have a chance.
No, I'm talking about like
we'll do a bodybuilding show.
Some of the guys have like beat so and so challenge.
Oh,
beat
PJ.
PJ.
Blackstone has like beat PJ.
Yes.
You
Like
want to
you
get
guys do
shredded?
something like that, where like the fans can compete against like you because obviously, I can't be involved.
Why can't you be involved?
If PJ was involved in his, I think it's fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get shredded for a show. Who the fuck is gonna?
How do you know? You never know.
What?
Hey.
Nick, you would shave the morning of the show, and by the time you got on stage, your back would be covered in hair, and you'd be disqualified.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. I take, just to break down how I do it, I take Hazard 99% of the days. I take Trigger when I'm fucking exhausted, or I'm training late, or I didn't sleep well and I need a boost, but I don't take a full scoop of it. And then Havoc is the one that I literally take. I take Hazard every day, and I probably add in Havoc probably 80% of the time.
Mm-hmm. What I've been doing lately is I take a half a scoop of Havoc, and then as I train, I've actually been using Hazard as an intro workout. Just because of the pump ingredients in there, the electrolytes, the extra lion's mane, the Pico 2. Because I personally like taking Pico 2 intro workout. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But I take a full scoop of Hazard intro and then about a half a scoop of Havoc pre. That's
and guys, don't get confused at people that are watching this going, well, if you're taking a half a scoop of this and a half a scoop of this, why not come out with a formula that is half of that and half of that? Because reason why I do what I do is because I like the overload of the pump, but I also like the feeling of a little bit of caffeine. So instead of buying like a caffeine pill and taking it, there's a lot of benefits from Havoc and a lot of benefits from Hazard. So mixing them is kind of good because it kind of gives you like an a la carte as to what you're training that day. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to mix together and see what results you get from that. So I think it's good when I tell people like what pre-workouts you take. I said usually all of them, but depending upon when I need them.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it.
All right.
Check out my bookcase of supplements. Like I totally understand it every day. Like I try to pick and choose from different companies, but the nice thing about MFIT is you have such a wide offering that you can do that on your own offering.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure like in past companies, guys had to use other companies at the same time, but outside of HydroCharge, I don't think he has to do that with MFIT.
No, listen, when I was with other companies in the past, I never used it. There was products that I used consistently, but the pre-workout category, no.
All right. Well, we have less than a minute left on this, so you guys have anything else to add?
I'm good. It's some fun. Got some good content.
Absolutely.
It's always fun, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for coming on. And thanks, Kai. I appreciate it.
Say thanks to my beard because it's looking absolutely beautiful.
No, mine's better. All right. On that note, see you in episode 4. Peace.